So one of the things, like, especially when I was younger, I guess I still am, like, super ambitious, but also, like, my mindset has been, because I can't write it down, I would just go, well, I'll make it, and then I'll show it to you. And that was always my methodology. So when I was at the film school, which was Newport Film School, I had a really reputable documentary film course that doesn't even exist anymore. They'd only take, like, 12 people on a year for the course. It was super small. But what happened was a BBC producer came in to talk to students, and he was basically, right, we're doing these series of TV ads that are about public health and safety, about alcohol and alcohol consumption, because at the time there was this big binge drinking kind of culture. It still exists, but they cared about it for a moment back then when I was in film school. And he was like, right, we've got some of our budget we're spending on this and this, but we also thought it'd be fun to give some students and some young filmmakers the opportunity to go out there and make some films, but we're looking for you to do something different. Don't do your standard thing. So this was like this lecture that we had, and he was like, well, pitch ideas to me when I'm back next time. So I at the time I had like just a home video camera, because I'd like worked in like Currys, which is like the British version of Best Buy, like all through Christmas. I'd done like a ton of extra hours, and I saved it. I bought a camera, and I was making, on mini DV tapes, all my projects were being shot on this. So I went to, this doesn't exist anymore because they changed the law, but in the UK they used to have kick out time. So all the pubs would kick out at exactly the same time. So it would be like 10 o'clock, pubs closed, and the streets would just be full of all these really drunk people fighting and like...
Is there a reason why they did it?
That was just the law. Like, you couldn't drink in a pub until after a certain time. And they've relaxed it now because they were trying to go, well, but it was you can imagine it was chaos. Yeah. Like, imagine all the bars in downtown Halifax kicked out at the same time. And, and everyone was like loaded. It would just be chaos. So that happened like every night, pretty much. So I was like, do you know what? I think this would make a great nature program. So I got in my car and I hid and I just basically filmed like people like falling around and like the stuff they were doing and all, just being drunk, like. And then I edited it together, and I got my friend who had like a posh English accent. So I was like, hey, he sounds a bit like David Attenborough. And I basically wrote a narration like script for him, and then like he then read it, and I edited it together. So it was basically a nature program, but the subject matter was just really drunk people all like falling over each other, fighting, eating food or trying to eat food, falling asleep in in the corner of like next to a dumpster. And then I just gave it to him to the producer and was like, hey, I did it. And he was like, I want it. So it was like, that's literally how I ended up doing it then. And then so we obviously had to re-edit it. We had to blur the faces of everybody. We had to kind of get it, go through and get like the audio mixed. But it went out as part of the campaign then as well. So it was like I had an opportunity, and then kind of was just like, right, what can I do that's completely different? So that was my that was how it happened. So
how long did that take? Like, did you go out for multiple weeks, nights? Was it just like one night?
It was over 2 nights, I think. And I went out like half an hour before kick-out time, and then I stayed there for a good like hour or two. But I did it from the safety of inside my car in the dark, because I was like, I'm not going to go out there. I'm going to get massacred.
Probably.
So, exactly. So.
Wow. That's so wild. Was it?
What was the reaction of the producer when he first saw it?
Yeah,
I don't think he was expecting it, but he was like, "I've spoken to like legal people. We have to blur their faces, but we can definitely put it out there." And then they gave us like a license fee, so it was like I think it was like £65, which is like $80. Yeah. It was like, hey, here's a broadcast like license fee for us to put your film out there. So I've still got that, because I was like, it's the first time I made some money from TV kind of thing. So it was it was a fun. For whatever reason, he was crazy enough to let it go on TV for me. So and it ran for a few nights.